So we're here with Janice McDonald, Senior Winemaker for Howard Park and Madfish Wines. Janice, can you tell us a little bit about the Howard Park regional range?
The regional range is a range of wines that at Howard Park we've been working on for a number of years, just really trying to find between the two regions that we have quite a few vineyards in, what would be the best representation that we could put forward together, sort of almost as a snapshot, which would sort of, I guess, epitomise the strengths of the regions, or at least give a good picture of the wines from the regions. And whilst you can grow quite a few different grape varieties very successfully in both regions, we decided that we needed to choose a white and a red from each region, and this is the range that we've come up with. So out of Margaret River, we chose to do a blend of Sauvignon, Blanc and Semillon, which I think many people would regard as the sort of the signature blend of the region. Alongside that white wine, the red wine that we chose was a Cabernet Sauvignon, which doesn't really need, I guess, a lot of explanation or a lot of discussion as to why we would choose that. Certainly, Margaret River is a fantastic region for Cabernet Sauvignon. When you go down to the Great Southern, and the Great Southern has a number of sub-regions, and the sub-regions that we tend to work in out of the Great Southern are particularly Mount Barker, but the other sub-regions that you'll see in that region are also the Franklin River region, the Parongarup region, and also Denmark. So some of our wines will have a little component from each of those, but our great strength probably lies in the Mount Barker region, which is where we have our Mount Barrow vineyard. Our Mount Barrow vineyard is one of the highest vineyard regions within Western Australia. I guess in global terms that's not really saying a lot, but our vineyards are ranging from about 250 to 350 metres. So yeah, really quite high for this region, and why we've chosen to go there and the strengths that come out of that region, I can sort of talk about those things a little bit later. So the two varieties that we are sort of promoting out of the Great Southern are Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. I'm sure that we could argue that we could do Chardonnay out of Margaret River. Nevertheless, we thought that it was a greater point of difference to do the Sauvignon Blanc Semillon from Margaret River and the Chardonnay out of the Great Southern. So now just heading back to, I'll talk about the white wines and then the red wine. So the first white wine that we have is the Miamup Howard Park Sauvignon Blanc Semillon. So the Miamup is the name of the regional range from Margaret River. Miamup is the road that the Howard Park vineyard, the Howard Park Leston vineyard, is located on. So we thought it was an apt name. The white wine is a blend of Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon, and without question, a regional strength, almost a unique wine style out of Australia is that particular blend. You will see across the region that across many producers, you may have a Sauvignon Blanc Semillon blend, you may have a Semillon Sauvignon Blanc blend. It really just depends on where you think your strengths are for that particular blend. We've chosen to go with a Sauvignon Blanc dominated wine. Nevertheless, the percentage of Semillon in this wine is really quite strong. It's about 40%, and that's a very, very important component to the whole structure of the wine. Bear in mind, we put this wine out as a sort of a fresh, vibrant, sort of ready to drink now style, but really that Semillon component in the wine does allow this wine to sort of age quite beautifully for a number of years. So we've got 60% Sauvignon Blanc, and off this wine, which is the 2011 wine, you get some lovely sort of gooseberry aromatics, really quite an attractive wine. We do a little bit of fermentation in the barrel, so we get some nice sort of, almost sort of lemon curd characters, and the back of the palate is where the Semillon really kicks in, so you get lovely sort of limey citrus, very sort of structural component to the wine. And my view over a number of years, probably many years of making wine out of the Margaret River region, the reason that this wine is a particular strength from Margaret River is really because of the Semillon and the ability of this particular climate in Margaret River, which is sort of a maritime sort of temperate climate. Most of the time we really do manage to get Semillon ripe, and my view is that's really the key to the strength of this particular brand. Anyway, so enjoy this wine when it's young, but bear in mind, give it 2 or 3 years and I think you'll still be really happy with this wine.
How is the regional series different from the single vineyard series?
With the single vineyard series, and we've really focused on red wines in the single vineyard series, the single vineyard series is really a step up. This is really the very best that we can get off our vineyards. So our production of the Scottsdale from the Great Southern and Leston from Margaret River, they're very, very small production. And we just thought there was a place and a space in the market to showcase a sort of a broader spectrum of varieties, still with a regional signature.